Welcome back to From the Pages of WWF, a European Rampage tour, the 1991 issue. Right away, you're dropped into that unmistakable early 90s WWF energy, and before a single word of editorial even hits you, it's the merchandise machine in full force. A full page blast pushing the WWF sticker album and brand new collector cards. The kind of thing every kid was chasing at the time, swapping doubles on the playground, hunting down Hogan, Warrior, Bulldog, Undertaker, all of them promised as part of this expanding universe that didn't just live in the ring, it lived in your hands, your bedroom, your binder, your whole world. And you can feel how big this thing had gotten, especially overseas, the UK market being hit hard, with coming soon to your local newsagent like WWF wasn't visiting, it was planting a flag. Right alongside that, you get that grid of superstars, a visual roll call of the era: Hogan, Warrior, Jake Roberts, Mr. Perfect, all staring back like larger than life trading cards before you even bought one. Then it rolls straight into another ad that just screams the time: squeeze 5,000 pounds of muscle into your video. WWF home video, build your collection, because if you couldn't be there live, you were stacking tapes, rewinding moments, wearing those cassettes out. And that's when the tone shifts and you get the official welcome: Jack Tunney laying it out clean. The WWF invasion of the British Isles, and it's written like an event, not just dates. London to Glasgow to Belfast and Dublin, back to Manchester, Birmingham, Brighton, and finally Wembley. And you can feel the build, like a traveling circus of chaos and spectacle, rolling through city after city, with the promise that you're not just watching wrestling, you're experiencing something: the energy, the noise, the moment. And right after that, the book settles into its core, the stars themselves, starting with the Ultimate Warrior painted as this unstoppable force, this perfect fighting machine, still carrying the shadow of that controversial loss to Sergeant Slaughter, but described like something beyond human, lifting 300-pound opponents like nothing, living for battle, calling on his warriors. It's less a wrestler and more a force of nature. Then you flip, and there's Sergeant Slaughter, the complete opposite energy: cold, militaristic, brutal, aligned with General Adnan, rolling over opponents like a tank, finishing them with that crushing knuckle. Everything about him is written to make you feel the weight of his presence. Then the tone shifts again, with Jake the Snake Roberts, quieter, more calculated. The psychological side of wrestling, the DDT. Damien draped over opponents. That slow burn menace that didn't need to shout to be dangerous, and from there it keeps moving. Texas Tornado, a fast riser, already tasted gold, already lost it thanks to outside interference, now chasing redemption with that tornado punch and the claw. Positioned as someone climbing fast and looking to make things right. Right behind him comes Mr. Perfect, and the tone flips again: confidence, arrogance, precision. Everything about him built around the idea that he is exactly what his name says: the Intercontinental Champion, backed by Bobby the Brain Heenan, a man who doesn't just win, he controls every aspect of the match. Technical wrestling, power, aerial ability. It's all there, and it all leads to that perfect plex. Now, like, positioned like the final word: once it hits, it's over, no questions asked. And then you turn the page, and it gets even bigger, because now you're staring at the face of the company, Hulk Hogan, the World Wrestling Federation champion. And the language here isn't just about wrestling; it's about cultural impact. Hulkamania, the crowds erupting, the pythons, the entrance to Real American. It's all laid out like mythology, going back to that moment in Madison Square Garden in 1984, carrying through the decade and reaching beyond wrestling into movies. No Holds Barred already out there, Suburban Commando on the way, and that message repeated again: train, say your prayers, take your vitamins. It reads less like promotion and is more like a code that every kid watching already knew by heart. And then it shifts to the home field advantage, because now it's the British Bulldog, and you can feel the tone change again. This one written for the audience, holding this very program: Leeds, England. Your guy, not just another superstar, but the hometown hero coming back stronger, armed with that running power slam, built as a threat to anyone in the ring, blending power and athleticism. the kind of wrestler the crowd is supposed to rally behind, and you can almost hear that reaction before it even happens. From there, the personality turns up with Roddy Piper, and the writing leans right into it. Unpredictable, volatile, loud when he needs to be, but now also stepping into the broadcast role alongside Vince McMahon, bringing that same chaotic energy to commentary. There's the Hollywood mention. They live, tying him to something bigger, but at the same time, reinforcing that he never really left. Still dangerous, still capable, still one of the best to ever do it. And then right after that comes a completely different kind of villain, the $1 Million Man. And the presentation's crystal clear. Wealth, power, control. Everybody has a price. The custom $1 Million belt. The technical ability in the ring matched with that arrogance outside it. And that finishing touch, the $1 Million Dream. Putting opponents to sleep before humiliating them with money stuffed in their mouths. It's not just about winning it. It's about proving a point every single time. And then the structure of the magazine opens up and you start getting these full page and multi-panel photo spreads. No bios, no breakdowns, just faces and physiques and personalities. Warlord standing there like a machine. Rick Martel with that smug confidence. The Undertaker and a pallbearer already looking like something completely different from everything else on the page. Andre the Giant still carrying that presence, even in a single image. The Rockers bringing energy and color. The Orient Express with Mr. Fuji, Greg, the Hammer Valentine, the Bushwhackers. Then another wave, Duggan with the 2x4, Neidhart, Earthquake, all filling out this roster that feels deep, stacked, almost overwhelming. Like no matter where you look, there's another name you recognize, Brooklyn Brawler, Power and Glory, Superfly Jimmy Snuka. It's a visual reminder of just how big the roster really was at the time. And just when you think you're settling into the wrestling side of it, the business side comes right back in because there's that licensing push, WWF, not just as a show, but as a brand expanding into merchandise, into the UK market, into anything they can put a logo on, contact information, trade inquiries, the whole thing laid out like this is only going to get bigger. And then you get that timeline page and it hits like a highlight reel in print. Hogan winning the title in 1984 WrestleMania 1, 2, 3 with that massive attendance. The NBC main event pulling in over 30 million viewers. Savage winning the tournament. Hogan winning it back. Warrior winning it at WrestleMania 6. Hogan taking it again at WrestleMania 7. All of it stacked one after another to remind you this isn't just current. It's history in motion. And then you start winding down, but even that feels packed. The announcers, Mean Gene Okerlund, Vince McMahon, Roddy Piper, the voices behind everything. Followed by the production credits, the people putting the tour together, the merchandise information, even the mail order details, like if you're holding this, you're already halfway into buying more. And then the final stretch is pure promotion. Again, Hogan's No Holds Barred, pushed hard as a video release, available everywhere. Woolworths, WH Smith, HMV, all the spots you'd actually go, making it feel real, reachable, and then right at the end, another hook, the WWF magazine itself, the next issue already waiting, Undertaker featured, Hogan's movie tie-in, Piper interview, Mr. Perfect, and Snuka, just enough to keep you moving forward to make sure this doesn't end here. And that's really what this whole thing feels like, not just a program for a tour, but a snapshot of a moment where WWF wasn't just wrestling. It was everywhere at once, live events, television, video, merchandise, magazines, all hitting at the same time, all feeding into each other, all building something that felt bigger than just matches in a ring. And if you remember this era, if you lived it, this is one of those pieces that takes you right back there, flipping through it, seeing the names, the ads, the promises of what's coming next. If you made it this far, this is one of those issues you'll want to come back to again. Because there's always something you missed the first time. Another name, another ad, another little detail that pulls you right back in. So go ahead, drop your favorite memory from this era, who stood out to you, who you were rooting for. And if this brought you back even for a few minutes, hit that, like subscribe. and save it so you can revisit it anytime. See you next time. Farewell from the Empire State.